be reviewing the 1975 Jaws movie tonight.
This came out on June 20th, 75, so a couple weeks before 4th of July when it came out. The movie was made for $9 million. It took in $476 million.
Damn.
In 1975.
That's a pretty penny.
And I can't even believe Spielberg made this movie for $9 million because, man, it looks great on the screen.
This movie, bro, I probably saw this once a week in my house, if not a few times. My mom, this is like one of her all-time favorite films.
I'm an OG. I saw it when it came out in the movies. I was 14.
Oh, damn. That must have been cool.
And when that head popped out, Barry's talking about nudity in the movie in the beginning, and I was turning up the brightness on the set and stuff. But yeah, when you're 14 and you see that on the theater screen, you go, hey, this movie's starting out good. Oh, don't worry about Mom. Don't worry, Mom.
It's a good way to hook you in, you know?
This is the movie that started the whole summer blockbuster. And Robert Shaw was a huge actor. Go back and watch his movies. He's a great actor. And he's done so many different war movies and dramas and stuff like that. He was this movie. You know, we're going to get into probably best character. But Robert Shaw, for me, if it wasn't for him, it didn't elevate the movie. He elevated this movie to a whole nother level. And he took a horror movie mainstream, too. I mean, he took what basically is a horror movie and probably made it the most popular horror movie really ever. And as Perry thinks, he pushed that PG limit, you know.
Yeah, he did.
They didn't deem this movie, and there was no PG-13.
Man, it's crazy how like movies from the 70s have this feeling of like hyper realism. Yeah. Like every movie that I watched from the 70s, I'm like, I feel like that could actually happen, you know?
Plus,
like
it's the absolute lack of anything that's CGI or CGI possible related.
I really like how they introduced Quint. He was in like the little town hall meeting, and they just planted him there. Yeah, then they waited a little bit, and they brought him right back around. Like, yeah, you guys finally came around.
Well, yeah, and they in that scene where he introduces himself by scratching on the black.
Oh, yeah, dude, I lifted up my headphones. I was like, no.
There's 2 points in this movie that I think are the best scenes with him, and is the blackboard scene where he's scratching on it when he gets introduced, and that whole sequence, which went on for a long time, but it's probably to me the best part of the movie, where they're comparing wounds, and then he tells that story about how all the men went in the water and the sharks were getting him. The whole story he sold, man, that sold, and that made the movie. I mean, up to that point, it really didn't feel like there was a lot of danger. And immediately after that, you get the shark, pounding in the boat and stuff like that.
I wondered, why did he break the radio?
Because he didn't want him to call the cops. He was going to get the thing if it killed him, and it did. He was pissed at everything the shark was doing to him. That's why he was, Ray Scheider said, well, why are we letting the shark take us out to sea? Why don't we just take him into the bay, go back to shore? It wasn't until the shark, took 8 bales down and survived all that shit. He got pissed off, and then he said, okay, we're going in, we're going to drown the son of a bitch. Yeah. That was the only time he was going to do that. And he didn't want anybody to come on and kill him but him. He was obsessed. And that was part of that character. I mean, that was such a great scene. Big introduction of the shark. You come down, shovel this shit, and then shark pops up out of the water.
Yeah. And he doesn't say anything. He just slowly backs up. Like he's just completely frozen.
But you're right. I think it's 70s movies in general just seem to have a little bit more going on.
You got a great cast in this. Quint is just perfect in this. You got Brody, you got perfect trio, and then you got the asshole mayor. They're just all so different. The scientist, the cop, the big time asshole like boater,
And you bought their characters too, like the scene in the movie where the woman whose kid got killed comes up and slaps Brody in the face. I always felt bad for him because, hey, it wasn't his fucking fault. He wanted to close him, slap the fucking mayor standing right there. But you feel for that because, you feel for the guy because they sold it to you that well.
I like how after he gets slapped, the mayor's like, she's wrong. You did the right thing.
And this was this movie was based off a novel by Peter Benchley that came out in the 70s, which was a huge book. So it's not like they just, they took the screenplay and they actually I read the book. They made a movie that was better than the book because the book went into Brody's wife was sleeping with the Richard Dreyfuss character. She were alcoholic and they didn't really get along together.
I believe it.
The Quint character was pretty much the same, but they changed a lot of stuff in the book, and I think the movie's a lot better than the book.
Yeah.
But it was a big book even back then in the 70s.
Yeah, Two Gun, man. This shit did make me afraid to go into the ocean as well. That's for
I was
damn
watching
sure.
this. As I'm watching it, I'm like, bro, I never wanted to go in the fucking ocean ever again.
Never,
No
bro.
way. I don't want to do it. I don't want to think about it. It's not happening.
Perry, though, you said this was your first time watching this, man. I gotta know, man. What are your thoughts on this?
When I was first learning about like photography and stuff, they used to always show this scene with the camera where it goes up on the cop when he's first on the beach and the kid's in the water. And so it's like I remember that scene like distinctively, but I didn't know that they were gonna kill a kid in the middle of the water and chunks of blood just flying up in the air, dude. Like that blew my mind away. This whole movie, like it was like nonstop suspense. And then the story would just like drag you in more, and it was like more suspenseful. That's why when it came to that scene where the researcher went underneath the boat and seen the dead body, I was so scared because I was so like I was leaning in as I was watching it because I was just like so drawn. Yeah, I watched it right. Yeah, on my computer. Yeah, because I couldn't believe that he's getting in the water. Like, what are you doing? Why? Just tow it. Just tow the boat back. What are you doing?
Why not the big reveal at the end? He thought for sure he was done, and then he pops up out of the water.
He came back up. Yeah, he went down there. He's like, I'm just gonna play possum real quick and just hang out here.
I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing during that whole.
I thought he was trying to find his spear. I thought he was gonna come back and save the day, and he never did. He was just stabbing him in the fucking top of the head. That was a dumb idea going in that cage. He's lucky he went down instead of up. I think if he would have tried to go up and escape, I think it would have caught him. Yeah, but super good movie. I'm surprised. Like I like movies like this that almost 50 years later it holds up.
Still feels like it just came out, dude.
Yeah.
It never ages. It doesn't feel like, oh, this feels like it was made in 75.
Yeah.
Like, this feels old.
Yeah.
It's timeless. It's one of those timeless movies. And that's where I think doing the mechanic or, doing the shark the way they did is really, because when you see it, it looks fucking real.
Yeah.
It looks
still to this day.
real. When I was a kid, I thought it was real.
I thought it was, I'm 30 years old. I thought it was real half the movie.
Right. It's so fucking
they were
good,
lucky.
man.
They made it. It didn't really work by moving it, but it looked great, and that's all that really matters.
Dude, those kids were such assholes with the little wooden plank and the shark fin in the back.
Oh yeah,
they almost got shot. They came up, and they looked down the barrel of a gun. I was like, oh my god,
kids will be dicks.
Yeah, I mean, just the music in this is another
so good.
Incredible one. Not even just like the dun 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 dun. I mean, that's obviously so classic, but it's just got a fantastic score in it. Period. The entire thing is so good.
John Williams did pretty much every
Spielberg movie
from this point on. What do you think, Perry? Who's your favorite character? Who's your favorite? What your favorite scenes? In the
I'm gonna go with Quint definitely, but that guy from the institution that came. Like I didn't like him at first, but like as the movie went on, like I started to more and more like him. He's kind of crazy, but
made him like an asshole in the beginning.
Yeah,
and then he got better.
Yeah, and he was like polar opposites to Quint. Like he's like this rich kid, and then you got this guy who's like a real like hands-on type of dude. And like they were going back and forth, and then once they started showing each other like their battle wounds and battle scars, it's almost like they gained respect for each other. Yeah. It was like, it was just so good, man. I really like that scene.
And that's why when he comes up at the very end of the movie, he goes, where's Quint? And he goes, I didn't make it.
He didn't make it. And I even like that one scene when the kid is on the boat and she's like, oh, he's on his birthday present. And then she sees the picture of the sharks attacking the boat. And she's like, listen to your father, get off of that. Like, yeah, dude, like, what are you doing? Why are you on the water?
There's a lot of characters in it, man. And everybody kind of gets their own like shine to it. You got a few that end up just being random fishermen and stuff, but it's one of those small town, like they're on like an island, which is another thing that I really always enjoyed about the film is that I always say Stephen King does these small town, everybody knows everybody, and that is exactly what this is, where everybody knows the mayor. It's like
I mean, I've been to the Cape and all that, and this is like the Cape. This is what it is. If you go to the Cape, that's what it is.
I want to be an islander. You got to be born here to be an islander.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh shit, okay, dude. There were so many extras on the beach. I was like, holy smokes, there's a lot of people there.
Yeah. And it's like summertime is like their time to let randoms come to keep their town afloat. Because vacationers or what kind
travelers,
Yeah, the travelers.
If it wasn't for that,
that's probably the only time they let strangers come into their town is.
Well, and it's the whole industry. That's all. Their summertime is what is the whole year.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, but my favorite scene is definitely that boat scene with the dead body coming out. Like what a punch in the face, dude.
Oh,
Like
hell
wow. It just comes out of nowhere. Because you think that big part of that scene is him finding the tooth, you know? Like it's like, all right, here's the tooth, and then no, like boom. And then he drops the tooth, man. This guy has the biggest butterfingers. He dropped a tooth, and then he dropped the freaking spear. What's wrong with this guy?
He got caught between the rope when the fucking rope was on the ship. And the whole scene at the end, they could have ended it any better with him putting that tank in the shark's mouth.
Oh, and then shooting it.
And then shooting it, and then blow up, you son of a boom! It's just the whole ending was perfect.
Smile, you son of a bitch.
I like how it just ends with them on the Bowies, like kicking. Don't stop kicking, man. And then credits. And I was like, yeah, that's it. We don't need nothing else.
I was like, if Quint didn't die, there could have been like a TV show, like all about him going around the boat, all around the world, just hunting sharks and shit. That would have been awesome, dude. That would have been awesome.
Or like a before, like how he killed all those sharks in his house, because his house is filled with all those shark teeth.
Right.
Like a TV show or something, how he got all those different sharks.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, if you want to see him, Robert Shaw, in other good movies, he was in The Sting with Robert Redford, Paul Newman. That was a great movie. He was in From Russia with Love, the James Bond movie. He was good in that. He was in Black Sunday. That's the one with the sniper taking shots at people during the Super Bowl. That was a great movie. And he's in The Deep, which was another one of these killer whale.
But yeah, all day. 5 for me. I give this shit a fucking 69 stations all the fucking way, dude.
There's nudity in it, so yeah.
Dude, the movie is so goddamn good.
The guy in the beginning running up to the girl, I'm coming. I'm like, me too.
Okay, I'm not drunk.
Like,
I'm not drunk.
Just like laying down, fucking sleeping. The movie is just timeless, man. The shark looks so fucking good. I just remember it. Never wanting to go in the water after watching this, and then when I went to Universal and went on the Jaws ride, like that shit terrified me, because like they had like a mechanical shark, and it felt like the real shark from the movie. Like, looks like Two Gun agrees 5 all day. Verno gave it a 5 as well. Evan agrees 5 slips all day. Bobby D says 5 steel slips, so you know that. No, he ain't. Pie marks from Brother Joe. Illuminating Shadows, what's going on? So hell yeah, 5s all day, man. So that's an easy one. It's a 5, brother.
And I want to thank everybody that stopped in. Guys, thank you. Have a good July 4th, everybody that's watching.
Be safe. Don't get in no trouble out there.
Don't blow off your fingers.
Don't blow your fingers off. Have fun. Get some drinks. Get some good grub. Get some good barbecue. And watch them fireworks blow off.
Make sure you keep your dogs in the house. They don't like that shit.